A no commentary version of this run can be found in the link down in the description and in the pinned comment. Enjoy! Hello and welcome to Extreme Gameplays, where I play games stylishly. Today I'm back with another commentary for a God of War challenge run. Today's game is gonna be God of War Ascension, and the challenge run is No Upgrade Run Plus. The rules for No Upgrade Run Plus are very simple. It has to be on the hardest difficulty, you can't upgrade anything, and you can't extend your health and magic meter. I have made commentaries for other challenge runs in other God of War games, but today's video is gonna be about God of War Ascension, so let's start it. God of War Ascension is what I consider to be the hardest God of War game in existence. So in this video you might not see the most perfect executions going on, but it's still a solid guide if you want to follow to finish your No Upgrade Run Plus. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So here's the game where it starts and stuff, but I'm not gonna be covering every single encounter with these bugs, since it just reduces down to it gets reduced down to grabs and nothing else. You just grab them. I think I even skipped the remaining of these guys. Like, I don't fight them all. This is the thing about no upgrade runs and new game plus runs, is that you don't have to be bothered with getting red orbs and Gorgon and stuff. It's good. Here's the real first encounter, and you know, you can grab these guys. Now, the philosophy for this game's encounters is going to be fairly simple. Whenever we get the shield world weapon, you're going to see why in some minutes after we're done with this section. Not this session, actually. It's going to be like half an hour from now, but it's going to represent the entirety of this run for the no upgrade run plus conditions. The shield basically destroys everything, but for now we have grabs, and we gotta work those grabs. The great thing about these grabs is that they give iframes. Like, when you grapple onto an enemy, you have iframes. So it's gonna be extremely handy later on with the Hackathonkery boss fight. And so yeah, nothing that complicated. And I'm sorry if I sound like a dead bear again. I'm kind of sick right now, but just felt like doing the commentary. As you can see, some crazy gameplay in the first encounter. Why not? God of War Ascension's combat is one I really appreciate. That punch, I'm just demonstrating the knockback that it has, and I wanted to do the kicks so that I can. There, I disarmed this guy, but with a punch, not the kick. That's our first world weapon that we just picked up. See those iframes when I grab that guy? They're gonna come in handy against the Hackathonkery boss fight. You know, the one where the camera zooms out to like 5 football fields away. It's gonna be handy there, since you can gain iframes and stuff. Here's the full combo, thanks to the rage filling up. You're going to be seeing a lot of ring outs in this run, especially unintended cases. This is what you want to do when you stun an enemy. Just run up to a wall and do this. Don't really commit so much to the battering ram. The damage is not that much. Here's going to be the first, that was a nice ring out. Here's going to be the first focus for ring outs right here. If you can just position yourself correctly, boom. The grapple mechanic, man. Ascension just knows. There's gonna be a lot of ring outs in this one, and especially unintended cases, meaning ringing out centaurs and Cerberus breeders. Not breeders, but just Cerberus, you know. There's also a brute, a girl that is actually really skillful when you fight her, but you can ring her out as well. You're gonna see when we get to that what I'm talking about right now, but yeah. Here's the first boss. Now, roll to the upper right corner so that you avoid this attack. And this guy has a lot of attacks that are kind of blockable. Not a lot, but some attacks that are blockable. Surprising that they are blockable, but hey, it's welcome. If you ever see an attack where he just does the sweep and stuff, it's blockable. I don't know if I show it in this video. Does it happen? The thing with my commentaries is that I have to showcase stuff that can go. See it block? Easy. No need to dodge. This one you do need to dodge though. And that's the first phase of this guy. This fight is kind of really good. I used to hate the start of Ascension. Not hate, but I would just think it's so mediocre and stuff, but now I kind of changed my mind on that. So the thing with my commentaries is that... This is a very nice QTE, oh my god. The thing with my commentaries is that I try to not play the most perfectly. I obviously do, but I still have to showcase stuff that can go wrong sometimes. So here, what I'm doing is I'm beating it up until it does this. And then I get back up and beat it up again. Now the preferred way to do this is going in here. See the place that I just went in? You go in, it does this, you bait it, and then you come out and you beat the monster again. And you can keep on looping this, and it's pretty much a very safe way of taking this thing out. Stay there for safety, obviously. But you can also stay there for a longer portion so that it does this attack. Not this, whatever. You stay in there and you bait it to do the attack where it stabs the place where you're standing in. And then you jump out and you hit it again. So yeah, the thing with my commentaries is that I have to kind of go with the route of what a lot of people get instead of, you know, doing some unintended stuff. Like, I'm not aiming for complete I am aiming for complete efficiency, but not complete perfection where things go right and stuff. You might see stuff that go wrong, and I explain how to fix them, how to be a problem solver at least. Basically, you know, the aim for this video, for these commentaries, is that to show you how to deal with this run if things can go mildly wrong sometimes. It's not like a Hristo Zimnas video where he's completely perfect in his videos. That man does no damage in the most insane challenge runs ever, so if you were ever looking for perfection, like what you're seeing here, but perfection, just watch Hristo Zimnas. Although I do also show some promising stuff from time to time. Air block and approach. Ring outs. The grapple mechanic is one thing I really love about Ascension. Like, Ascension is my 4th favorite God of War, but this grapple is just so good. It's like the auto lock that it has is not so strict. Like ring out this guy as well. The auto lock does happen sometimes on enemies with halos on their head, but that's about it. Here, just favor ring outs. Look at how they all bounce from the wall. And here I wanted to demonstrate the uppercut ring out, but then I decided to not play around too much. Just ring them all out. Another disarm. The thing is, even if you have world weapons, you can still do the bare-handed punch that knocks back enemies. It's gonna be very handy to ring out the sirens in the Trial of Archimedes, but I don't think I aim for that. I think I go for the grabs, which takes significantly a longer time, but it's overall safe. I just love how Ascension keeps on. It allows you to. It keeps the bare-handed moveset even while you have a world weapon, and it's just by sprinting. See, I really love it. Now again, I want to preface something, and is that when I say I'm not so execution heavy, I mean I never said that, but when I say I let stuff sometimes go wrong, I mean just to show you things that go wrong and how to deal with them. Like, perhaps maybe in your run stuff could go wrong sometimes. You're better off restarting and getting the better moveset from the boss. Like, maybe you don't get the stupid move that the boss does that is annoying. And you might restart, but I'm just doing it still just so that you gain more knowledge about something that you might not know. It's still important to know stuff. And this section is done with ring outs. A very interesting section this thing was. Just a cube spinning. The God of War Ascension start is very good. Again, I used to dislike it and thinking it only gets better when you make it to the village of Cura, but actually no. Now this guy, I don't know why he doesn't get stunned with the sword I already have in hand, and then with another sword that I pick up. I was aiming to discard my weapon so that he gets stunned. But for some reason he was not getting stunned. Although he is very close to getting stunned, so I guess his stun meter did build up. See? He instantly got stunned. That's an easy way to take out the Cyclops. Which gets me thinking, I think Ascension has a stun meter, just like God of War 4, but... Thing is, it's not a visible stun meter. Which it's not like I have a problem with, but... Still, like this Cyclops obviously had a stun meter that got drained using 2 world weapons and then some slaps with my blades. The Cyclops controlling in here is somewhat better. And this kill animation is so good. Oh my god, I love it. And now this boss. This guy also has some attacks that are blockable, which might terrify you at first when you see them, but when you know that they're blockable, see like these? Like that's... I don't know if I dodged it back there, but it seems like an attack that is intimidating until you know that it's blockable. And then all the scare factor is gone. Beat up its penis, beat up its penis until it's gone. So far you're seeing a normal gameplay of no upgrade run. It's mostly a pain run up until this point, but not a pain plus run. Remember, I'm gonna do... I will eventually get to a pain plus commentary, hopefully. Because it's wildly different in Ascension, but still, so far without the shield, and you might... Look, you're noticing me running towards this side right here. That's because when it goes for the bugs, see, it's gonna spawn some bugs right now. And they fall from the map if you keep on running that way. Just awesome God mode God tactics and nothing more. I think that was blockable. I don't know why I was jumping around and rolling around. All I'm saying is, against the Hekatonkeries, just try your best to block everything. Just experiment with what's blockable and what's not blockable. See, like, I blocked back there, but then I dodged because I still thought that might be unblockable. But you're free to go ahead and experiment to see what is and what isn't blockable. See, like, I dodged back there too. This phase is almost done, and boom, it's done. I was sure that that spirit would end it. It obviously is still not done. And it's gonna go to summon more bugs, but I'm not gonna allow it since, you know, running towards the outside of the arena. Make sure to do it. I think you can even roll, like right here I'm trying to roll. When you roll, your rage meter stays and it does not deplete. Basically like a hit counter. Pretty straightforward from here on. As I said, you're free to experiment a little more than what I am right now. Like right now I'm taking the safe approach of dodging these attacks that look unblockable. Don't have my word on it. They might be blockable. Just, you'll know what I mean when we get to the last phase of this whole Hekatonkery thing. You'll see it. A very nice and neat QTE. These docks, you want to grab them. Again, another reason why the grapple is so great is that even when, like after the grab, when the animation happens, you have full range of just redirecting them to wherever you want. See, like Kratos, notice him not auto-aiming to another enemy. You have free control of this throw, of this dog shooting that you're doing. It goes for some other enemies as well, like later on when we meet some manticore seeds or whatever they're called, the flying harpy-like enemies. You can throw them to wherever you want. This game just gives you a lot of freedom with the throws and stuff. It's very good. The game does have its very, very hard moments. That's why I said it's my hard. It's for me. It's my personal hardest God of War game. God of War 1 does come close, but for me only because it has the Clone War. It is a hard game overall, but still. Here is the camera zooming out, but it's gonna get much worse in a couple of seconds or minutes. I wish I was a modder so that I could, you know, fix this, but even if I was a modder, this throw is very good. The damage is not great. Damage is pretty poor, both of them out, but it's a very nice knockback. It's gonna come extremely handy. Although I don't use it in this run, but in the Shoulder of Apollo encounter, this is kind of handy to knock back enemies. But we'll get to that in my pain commentary, hopefully. If I get to that. If I was a modder, I would have fixed the zoom out that happens in here. This guy has a wind up attack that just takes 15 minutes to drop, and then when it drops, you don't know when you're supposed to dodge, and that's why I just say go with the grab. Like, the grab gives iframes. Pressing triangle is a long animation of Kratos slamming the enemy down that also has iframes. See? Like, not this. This does have a lot of iframes, but the triangle one is also good. See, instead of waiting for these claws that come out of its mouth and then dodging them, you're better off grabbing an enemy. See, like this huge wind-up attack. What? Like, when are you supposed to dodge that? It's just annoying. Also, don't bother with collision scaling or whatever. In this game, I don't think there's scaling for literally anything. Not just collisions. See how I avoided that hit completely by the animation of me throwing the enemy? That's what you need to be aiming for. See, I even zoomed the camera in. I grab enemies and I throw them. See? Thank me later for zooming the camera myself. If we ever get a remastered, I hope they go further and not just a texture pack. I really hope they fix this zoom out and some other zoom outs that happen later on near the snakes. It's done. Now we're gonna fall into a phase that, you know, got me into blocking and stuff. Which I totally learned it from God Mod God. It's like he said, the boss is not intimidating enough since you can block a lot of stuff. And I was like, you can block a lot of stuff? And then I started experimenting with what you can and can't block. Here's a clear example. Block. Block. And block. Then approach. You get pushed back to the guy behind, and I don't know if his attacks are blockable, but you don't need to know that, but since, you know, you can come back and beat this guy up. See, you can block everything from this guy. Which doesn't seem like it. Like, I'm used to the Colossus, the Hydra, Poseidon having a lot of unblockable attacks. That's why I never tried them out. But here we are. So yeah, in this game, don't bother with collisions. I think they are much weaker than God of War 3 collisions. God of War 3, like when you hit an enemy with another enemy, is 10 damage. With a battering ram, by throwing enemies, it's all 10 damage. It's good. It does not scale, but it's at least 10 damage. So there's that. At least the battering ram works. But anyways, in here it's way too low. We got the club right now. This is the strongest world weapon, but the shield is better for a specific glitch there that you're gonna see when we get to it. So with the club, you really want to get the rhythm of an enemy and just do this. Hold circle in the air. This actually counts as a secondary weapon. It's very good. It has a lot of attacks. So you have to know the rhythm of the enemy trying to attack. Then you jump and you hold circle. See? Once you get the hang of it, you would know when to jump and when to hold circle. You also gain extra air momentum by holding circle with the club. The club's damage is very, very sweet. This does shitty damage. All the things that, you know, where you control an enemy to damage other enemies, just does very poor damage, other than the Cyclops, of course. Jason just forgot to add scaling to anything. Literally anything. See, that was very risky to do. And here I grabbed this guy, and let me just explain something about why this animation is very long. This works in your favor. Maybe not now, but even now, it's a total safe way to take out the Elephantor. This is gonna come in handy later on when you have items that are on cooldown. This is why I kinda really love God of War Ascension's cooldowns. See, this is what I meant by getting into a rhythm. You completely loop this and you destroy the enemy. See? Now I get to talk about why I like the cooldowns of God of War Ascension. Like, I basically don't like cooldowns that much in action games, but Ascension is a special exception. Look at the damage, look. Boom. It is very good. The club is very nice. Like, if you want to go ahead and do a club only no upgrade 1+, please do it, just to experiment. Like, I did start mine a while back, but didn't continue it because, I don't know, I got busy with other stuff. But this, see this? Doing circle before landing, you know, to land the hit and to not go through the whole animation. It just cancels it when you drop down. Very good. Here we got the Fire of Ares. Boom. Just try out the Rage. This Rage mode is good. The game does a very good job demonstrating it. You get stuns on enemies, and it's gonna come in handy later on. I love Ascension's combat. It's a very nice loop. Anyways, back to the cooldown thing that I was talking about. I dislike them for the most part in action games, but Ascension is a very neat exception since it has long kill animations, like for the Gorgons, for the Cyclops, for what? It's like the Gorgon and the Elephantor that you just saw me took out. See how poor the damage is for the battering ram? If that was God of War 3, that other satyr would have been dead by now. But anyways, the Elephantor having a long kill animation, same with the Gorgon, works in your favor since all this time you're safely taking out an enemy and you're just having everything recharge. That's why it's very good. The cooldowns in here work nicely since there is something that complements it, and is the long kill animations. So yeah, that's why I think of it as a nice exception. See how everyone was stunned? Not just the guy that I grabbed. Also, that whole thing you see me do where I grab a stunned enemy and instantly throw him a square, I don't really recommend trying that. It looks cool and it spreads them all apart, but that's not what you want to be aiming for. Like, when you get a stunned enemy, you're better off just running to a wall and bashing his head until he's gone. Even though they die with one hit to the head. But if you want to mash circle and keep on mashing his head against the wall, you can totally do that. Ascension is a very nice game, man. Very good game. Here's this encounter that is very nice. These guys are stage hazards, but they're still enemies. See, like, they have health, and this is what you mainly want to go with. Boom, right from up here. But first, just watch out from this guy, and then you can see how I snapped him. His attacks can sometimes reach you, but it is what it is. You can jump down and get back up and deal the heavy hits against him again. The club is very nice. Notice how this big grunt is just getting bounced around left and right. It's very, very good. Even the normal air circle bounces him up. See? And so you can keep on looping this. Although I stopped for some reason, I think I'm trying to get the stun meter, my rage meter built up. The rage in this game takes away, gives you your normal combos that you used to have in the other game. This does poor damage. Don't try it. Looks fancy, nothing more. If there was scaling to this fucking shit. It wouldn't be that bad, but here we are. These satyrs start sprinting, so you best watch out. They also have the armor, so you can't grab them. Armored enemies like these and some other enemies later on can be air grappled. See, this is what you do when you get one stunned. Run into a wall and just do this. As easy as that. And again, when you have rage, just dump it on the enemies to get the stun. Easy. Now this guy's left and just destroy his ass. You can do it. Boom. The club just has a lot of moves, but you mainly want to use the air holding circle. That is basically the alternate Orion's Harpoon from God of War 2. Isn't it weird how that game does not explain it? That's what you're going with basically for flying enemies. Just R1. Mutilation, baby. Although Ascension is weird for the metals thing, it does not have mutilation metals or, you know, brutal kill bonuses. Don't pick up any other world weapon until we get to the shield. Here's a bullshit me getting hit. You saw it back there, right? I got hit through that wheel thing. This encounter, throw your thing, because there's another one right here. And don't look at the cosmetics like that. I know there's like 3 different looking clubs in this game, but they all do the same damage and it's all the same thing. I think you can jump through these guys slam. Like through, you know, just jump in your place. Which I like. I want my harpies as weak as possible. I hate strong harpies. Some more clubbing action and we're gonna get to a Gorgon after this encounter. God, I love God of War Ascension. It's just something about it. Like, there are reasons why it's my 4th favorite God of War. It's just that the trilogy have better combat, that's all. And the mistakes could have been fixed, you know? The whole taking your attacks away with the rage. But here we are. Now this gal, block and keep on attacking with your blades. It is good to attack in the air with the club. You know, land a single circle in the air, but like this, but near the ground. When you're just about to hit the ground, you can do it. So that you have complete control of Kratos and you can block again. I go for the rage dump. The rage obviously works different here. I'm sure you guys are familiar with it. Things I can remember about the rage is that it fills up if you plume a shield. Not a shield, a chest, sorry. Speaking of plumes, shield plumes, which you're gonna get introduced to when we get the shield ward weapon. They are better than the normal plumes. Like circle, circle, triangle is better than square, square, triangle in this game. Just in case you were ever wondering. This is all a bunch of nerd stuff that I know, but I just love these games so much. I love Ascension's combat, but now I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, but you really didn't have to take away our moves with the rage. It does make the player play better and not... here's another long kill animation that works in your favor later on. For now it's just a safe kill, but later on when you get the items and cooldowns and stuff, you have this that complements it. You're simply taking out the Gorgon, the hooded Gorgon, which is a very neat enemy, I really like it. And getting your cooldowns done. We got the Ice of Poseidon here, the Ice of Lil Uzi Vert. This thing does some very neat damage. Boom. But you want to favor this mainly. Look. Boom. Just corner them with the knockbacks and you're good. They're destroyed. You're good and they're destroyed. The plume and the spirit of this element is kind of weird. Up close, it does not hit every time. I don't know if it happens in this one. I'm pretty sure it should happen. Since when we make it to Delos Landing, we don't have a ward weapon. And I'm sure I use a lot of the Ice of Poseidon. Since, you know, when the plume lands, it does a very nice knockback to the enemies. This whole plume having different stuff based on your element is a thing that got introduced in God of War 3 with the Claws of Hades. Basically, the whole thing of plumes doing something after you land them was introduced in God of War 3. Since, you know, with the Claws of Hades, if you land up, it's not called a plume in there. I think it's called Sorrow. It keeps the effect if there are more enemies on the screen, and it keeps them bouncing back up and damages them. It's a very nice DPS tool. Club action. The damage is very neat. That's why we do it. I love how you get all the elements early on in God of War Ascension. It's very nice. Like in a couple of minutes, we're gonna get the Lightning of Zeus. Just grab it, bring it out. I don't think you can bring this one out actually. Yeah, see? But it's still a good demonstration on how you can redirect nearly everything in God of War Ascension. It's a very nice system. And here's the Chimera mini-boss that we face only once. Now this guy is buffed compared to its God of War 3 counterpart. This one, other than it being icy and stuff, it's iced out like DJ Khaled. See, you just find rhythms, as I said, and then you do the club thing. I like this gameplay of mine, since it showcases the niceness of the club. So this guy gains an unblockable attack from now on, and it's the 2 paw hits that it does. It's now unblockable in God of War Ascension, so watch out. It's not like God of War 3. Which is good for continuity. This is a weaker Kratos than God of War 3 Kratos. Get another hit in. As I said, it's just about finding your rhythm, and then you can land them pretty easily, those club hits. Chimera is my favorite enemy from God of War 3, but I don't know if I should count it as an enemy. I think it's a mini boss. And that is also unblockable. Good thing I got reminded. See, again. It is unblockable, but it doesn't take damage. It just opens you up. The paw hits that it does in its prior phase to this one right here. Boom. Is it done? No. Yeah, now it's done. The paw hits that I was talking about, the first one opens you up just like you saw back there, and then the other one just comes in and just wrecks you. So best watch out. Here's where the game changes to madness. So you pick up the shield from this guy after you throw your club, and you go... You'll see what... Okay, ring outs. Nice, Zesty. Thank you. Thanks for demonstrating it even further. Pick up another shield, but it doesn't matter. You still have one shield. And you still have your barehanded by sprinting, as I mentioned. Boom. And here I demonstrate the uppercut ring out. That's nice. Can you now showcase the shield, please? There's a glitch in this game you can do with the shield plumes, and it's called nuking. You go circle, circle, triangle, and as Kratos is doing the triangle attack, you switch between elements. Like this. Notice how the fire element and the ice element came out in one plume. All the effects come out. And whenever we get... Eventually, we will get all 4 elements, and this is going to be the craziest thing in the world. See? The ice element comes out, and the fire bomb gets planted. I'm switching between the 2 elements that I have right now. Look, right now. Whenever he starts doing the animation of getting the blades out for a plume, you start toggling between your elements. And that's basically your way of blazing through this game, but it's still not easy. That's why I love Ascension so much. Like, with this glitch, it's still not easy. Here we got the Lightning of Zeus. As I said, it's very great. Ascension is awesome. It gives you all the elements early on in the game. It's not... in here, we're restricted to only being able to use the Lightning of Zeus. Otherwise, I would have showed the nuking glitch that I was talking about. So for now, only safe tactics like grabs and stuff. Isn't it? It's kind of sad that magic is locked behind upgrades for other elements. Even though the magic system in this game is pretty trash. Like the meter itself, you know, being restricted to only doing like what, 4 magic attacks, which is understandable. They wanted to spice things up for this entry, but still, like the magic attacks themselves suck. Petrification is thrown out the window, so don't expect anything for the petrification system. Since, you know, enemies, petrification is still a thing in this game, but you don't have the tool to petrify enemies. What's worse, even enemies that get petrified, they don't really die like the usual way they used to. The petrification system was an easy way to, you know, see an enemy petrified and he dies with way less hits than his full health. In here is different. He still has, I think he still has the same health. He's just petrified. That's literally it. Which I don't know how that got greenlit, but Jason is Jason. You can't change that. Other than that, we have the ice element, which you would think it would freeze enemies and you would easily take out enemies with its magic attack, but quite the opposite, son. Even its rage dump is still nothing. The only magic attack worth using in here would be the Fire of Ares, for the knockback that it does and the awesome damage. The Lightning of Zeus does have a neat magic attack, but I have still yet to know like what it rebels at, like what it's good at. Like, why use it when I have the Fire of Ares? And the Blades of, you know, the Soul of Hades magic attack is pretty meh. Like, nothing really that deep with it. And this encounter is done. Moving on to the next encounter. Here's a pretty nice showcase of nuking. Even though it's only block this, don't get hit with it. It's only 3 elements. You can also ring out these guys right here, but I don't think I do a pretty good job at it, since the invisible wall in here is pretty weird. Like, it's active in some spots, it's not active in some other spots. But I'm sure I do ring out some enemies just for showcase. But you can totally ring. See, like that one got ringed out. That flying manticore thing. But you can even manually do this. See, like, look at this. Look at this nuking. Circle, circle, triangle, and I switch between all the elements. And you get all the elements effect. See that ring out, how I grab that manticore flying thing? I guess the invisible wall is not available in here. So, like, why didn't this guy get ringed out? Invisible walls, man, they're one hell of a thing. But I'm glad Ascension reduced the amount of invisible walls. It's very neat to be able to ring out enemies. That guy just ringed out himself, which is very good. Or maybe not. But anyways, this was a very nice showcase of nuking. Circle, circle, triangle, and switch between all the elements. You get that. Making it the best world weapon. I prefer the club because the game doesn't revolve around this. Which this still does require some skill with positioning and stuff, but I just love the club more since you're actually using the club. Like, this is good, but for what? For the blades. Like, it's still not a world weapon, I would say. Objectively, the shield is better. Objectivity is no such thing, but in this case, it should be a thing. If we're being real and honest with ourselves, the shield is the best. It's just that I find the club to be better since you you play the game more than just doing the same thing over and over. I mean, you're still doing the same thing over and over with the club, and it's the jump holding circle, but still, it's better than this. You're at least learning the enemy patterns with the club. Sorry. Here's another zoom out that you can't see anything while it happens. Because, of course. The game already has a problem with clarity, and when you zoom out the camera like this, it gets even worse. I don't understand it. Here's where it gets even worse. Like, I don't know what's with the zoom outs. I get you're trying to showcase some cool sceneries, which the old God of War's old rebel at the whole thing is just, they're very good, but this is wrong. Like, what's happening? Combat clarity is a very important thing. You can ring out these dogs by grabbing them and throwing them downwards like this. Boom. Basically towards the screen. And they're out. Combat clarity is one thing very important. God of War Ascension's clarity and things standing out is already kind of not so good. And when it zooms out like this, it gets even worse. I'm sure it's gonna get even worse in just a second. And by the way, all of this is just Todd Pappy's fantasy of spectacle. Look, I get it. God of War has always been about spectacle ever since God of War 2, but what is this? What's happening? Do I zoom in while editing? I don't know. I got this commentary edited like a couple of weeks ago, and now I'm doing the commentary, you know, the talking and stuff. Some zoom outs just are not supposed to happen. Like, look, this game is beautiful and gorgeous. And what it's going for is showing me this whole thing is great and all, but not for combat. Don't do it while in combat. The shield is bugged in here for some reason. I'm pressing circle twice and Kratos is doing the first move again and again. But it is what it is. And they're ringed out. Was just trying to showcase a lot of the nuking. Ring out, baby. God of War Ascension. And now the Manticore boss fight. Let's go. So you keep on slapping him, obviously, with the blades. Until it gets down and you start nuking him with the shield. With the shield plumes, if I'm trying to be specific. Also, notice the positioning. You want to kind of get away with the first shield rush. With the first circle of the shield. Circle. Meaning pressing circle. You do not want to be in its face. This thing likes to attack in the air, so best watch out. Dodge this since it's unblockable, obviously. Dodge this again, and I think this time it gets down. This fight can go two ways. Sometimes it wrecks you in the air and never decides to get down. And sometimes it just makes things look easy. See, sometimes it's this tedious. It gets getting back up there, which is annoying, but hey, can't have it the easiest way. Start nuking him. Circle, circle, triangle, and just switch between all your elements. Whenever we get the fourth element, it's even better. Boom, all elements, see? All the lightning, the ice, the fire, it looks very beautiful as well, other than damaging like crazy. And again, I want to preface something else, and it's that this does not trivialize the challenge run. Don't think for a second that, hey, I can just shield nuke my way through. No, it's not that easy, trust me. There's like 15 encounters that I can think of on top of my head right now that are just... either go against the rule that you learned with the shield plume, or are just hard. Even with the shield nuking thing, they're still hard. You might have noticed a lot of positioning using the shield's attack. Like sometimes you just use it instead of dodging. It's good to get away and come back with a plume that does a lot of damage. Kind of like God of War 3's holding square input. Except this one, you know, you come back with the vengeance of Batman or something. Look at the damage. This guy's almost done. I think it got stunned back there, but I'm pretty sure yeah. I'm sure when I was playing I didn't have my headphones on to hear the audio cue of the halo appearing on top of its head. Otherwise this thing would have been dead by now, but it's still over, whatever. Grab it, Zesty, please. Thank you. I do some stuff sometimes just to get footage for them. Like that back there was me trying to showcase how good the grapple is and how it reaches from a far range. Which you already know, but I still need footage for it. Get down, Kratos. All the shaking and moving is just gonna stop suddenly like this. I love the Manticore, it's a nice boss. Here's our first Cerberus. Every Cerberus in this game can be ringed out. Which is the funniest and greatest thing to ever happen in God of War. It's just so great how you can ring out every single Cerberus in this game. When you build up the rage enough, dump it so that you get the stun. When it's stunned, grab it. You can kill some enemies on your way there. And then you get into this position, aim to the upper right. A little, you gotta adjust right. Then press circle and hold left on the stick, and you do this. And then you ring out anyone. How fucking neat. I need to make one thing clear. You do not wait for the Cerberus animation to kick you out of. You know, you're riding him and then your time runs out and the Cerberus kicks you out. You do not want to wait for that. You press circle where Kratos himself just starts swinging the Cerberus around. And I want to just make it clear again. It's very great that you can ring out every single Cerberus. Here's this optional encounter that you totally don't need to do, but I decided to do because it's fun. Enemies have a thing for sprinting towards you in God of War Ascension. Very risky to do that out in the open, Zesty. You do know that. Enemies have a thing for sprinting to infinity and beyond. Like Elephantors, this Satyr Captain, normal Satyrs. Satyrs in here are normal enemies, as you all know. And you know how it is, it's just nuking from here on. Enemies with shields are very hard in this game. Like, this game just boosted the difficulty up from, you know, when compared to God of War 3. Like, God of War 3 compared to Ascension, it's not the biggest jump in the world, but Ascension is just harder than God of War 3. It does not want to play around. At all. We're nearing the fourth element, which is the Soul of Hades. Which is just gonna add up for our DPS option, and it's this. And just in case you asked, yes, we're keeping the shield till the end of the game. There are some sections where we actually lose the shield, but it's fine. We try our best to get it back. Here I'm just trying to demonstrate the uppercut. You can knock back these sirens, and it's very sweet. Although sometimes they have hyper armor and it can be annoying, so you best watch out. Knockback, see? I'm just demonstrating this so that you know you can ring her out in the Trial of Archimedes. Which I've done in my streams, but not in this No Upgrade Run Plus commentary. With this one I decided to go with the complete safe route. I still try to showcase some way, like using the amulet to slow this siren down in the air and then uppercut her to the outside. But I don't think it works. The grab loop is just something that happens with sirens and their golden halos. You'll see later on when we make it to the actual siren encounters. You'll see it. Here we got the Soul of Hades. This one is very good for the range. Like that hand that comes out and slaps the enemies. It might not do the best of damage, but it just breaks their guards. It sometimes disarms them. Like enemies with shields get hit with it. It's very good. The rage... again, I just want to talk about something other than the magic attack being locked behind the upgrades. Even your rage dumps are hidden behind upgrades, which I find it baffling. Like, why? Also, the Soul of Hades is also the only element that has the plume effect without the rage being built up. You know, this hand coming out. Very, very big hand. But yeah. The shield plume does more damage than the normal plume. That is one rule that you need to remember. The game kind of gets a little better when we get the amulet that slows down time. I think it's the amulet of Ouroboros or whatever. But the game generally opens up whenever we get more items, like the the clone that you can use. That thing does a lot of damage, by the way. It might not look it, but it does a lot of damage. It's very good. Like, I didn't know it does the damage that it does, even at level 1. It's actually insane. Zesty's effort at positioning. I don't know how to feel about the whole them locking our moves away. Like, I both love and hate Ascension for that. I'm obviously fine with it, since you've seen me praise Ascension non-stop ever since my styling days, my early days of YouTube. I've been praising Ascension ever since then. And now I like it even more. It's just, I don't know. Some questionable stuff are still here. Like the magic being hidden behind upgrades. Why? We get a new element. Why can't we use the magic of the new element? Same with the rage dump. We should be able to use it. Here's a pretty nice demonstration of the new king. With all 4 elements. Basic destruction. And it looks very beautiful, man. Just when you land it, it's just so good. Look. I cycle between all my elements. And I cycle again as well. It's not just like one time. Because sometimes you might see 2 Hades hands come out. That's because I keep on cycling between my weapons so that I get more and more. Sometimes you see 2 lightning strikes from Zeus. 2 ice things following. See, like back there, that was 2 Hades hands. You want to keep on cycling between all your elements with the D-pad. God, I love it. It's just that it gets way too repetitive. Like with the club, you're at least in the face of the enemy, and there's some danger going on. But with this one, it's just a matter of stay far and do this. These guys, you want to restart the checkpoint when you get to this encounter so that it does not do the spawning instantly. You launch it, R1. It goes on the ground, grab it again with R1, and then another R1 in the air. And it's a loop that keeps on working. A very nice weakness to the Wraith. This is the same Wraith that got introduced in God of War 3, except it has the power to summon other enemies. And it has another attack that looks like the Hermes boost from God of War 3. That's about it. Buffered launcher that doesn't launch the enemy, because why would it? Of course it had to spawn. Just take out the clones of the Wraith, which is a guy, and I'm still surprised it is a guy. I thought it was, all this time I thought Wraiths were women. But here we are. Don't try any nuking stuff. Just go with the same loop. R1. It burrows on the ground. R1 again. And another R1. Just keep on going with this flow. Until it's gone. I love it when enemies have weak points. It's just so good. Again, very risky to grab this guy's shield like this. You could have at least splashed everyone around with an attack, then do that, but that's past Zesty for you. Past Zesty can never be a perfectionist. There's always something wrong that you can find in his gameplays. Like in my God of War 2 No Upgrade Run Plus commentary, I realized I wasn't using the piercing shards for knockback on the satyrs in the loom chamber. I was constantly launching them with the spear for Orion's harpoon. That does the same thing. It still does a knockback half collision for the satyrs. And I'm like, why am I not doing that? See that? That was two hands coming out. Because I kept cycling between my my elements. And they're gone. And here's this awesome boss fight. Caster and Pollux. Bollocks. This guy is hard. You best watch out. Retreat to the sides. You want to keep on positioning him, and then it's going to be something that you have to learn in his later phases. Like this phase right here, he's kind of close up to you. He does not do the bullshit that slows you down and all that. So you can pretty easily nuke his ass using the shield plumes and stuff. As such, the fight starts opening up and getting harder when the older brother takes on. The little guy can join with him. Here you want to retreat to the sides. And then when you see these platforms about to be gone, jump and keep on attacking in the air so that you prolong your drop. And you're good. The battle is still not fucky. Did you see me dodge with the shield back there? Then come back with a plume? That's basically the idea. Again, you saw me do it again. This phase is also easy. There's going to be another phase that comes up after this that is going to require a lot of patience from you. And a special neat little pattern that you can do against them to get some damage in. Otherwise, you need to be patient and patient and patient. Here I died, that's why you see me do this transition. You want to just break these pillars. Nothing too hard. 1, 2. And they're broken. Just 2 hits. When he falls, capitalize with the shield. Dodge and get more shield hits in. Retreat to the last platform, I think now. No, we're still good. This rock toss that I just did does not do a lot of damage, by the way. It's not the best of damage, but it's not the worst of damage. It is good to knock him out of his slow-mo thingy. Like sometimes he summons an aura around him that slows you down if you enter it. Throwing this rock knocks him out of that phase. His emo phase. Here you want to retreat to the lower part of the arena. Towards the screen for a first person point of view section. Not a first, but definitely not a last in God of War. A first person point of view. Imagine if we had a gameplay like this. Gameplay portion like this. You just attack and stuff. That would be horrible. Now is where the hard part kind of starts. After you kick him Spartan style, the hard part starts. This guy does a lot of projectiles and you don't have anything to deal with it. So you get up close, you dodge, you see, you just need to get the pattern of everything. When he does that one up close where he just shoots 4 projectiles, you can block the 2. See that? That punish? Block the first 2, dodge with the shield, come back with the shield. 2, dodge. After blocking the second one, you want to dodge towards him, but kind of not directly towards him. There's just a lot to explain and I'm kind of getting lost here. When he does this, but it's only 4 projectiles towards you. See, like this aura right now? Throw the rock towards him so that he loses the slow-mo aura around him. It's the best way to do it. Like this. Boom. And now he lost the aura. When he does the 2 melee attacks up close, you want to block the first 2 and dodge with the shield. With the first attack of the shield. You know when you press circle? You'll see it happen again, I'm sure. This guy can be very annoying with summoning other rings around the arena to slow you down. Annoying motherfucker this guy is. Block, block, dodge with the shield, and come back with the plume. That's your way of dealing huge damage. Also be careful to not discard your shield. The moment you do, just restart the checkpoint. Block, dodge with the shield. You even dodge the projectiles if you're good enough with your positioning, trust me. See? I'm kind of strafing around the projectiles and the boss is done. A nice boss fight, not too good, but still not bad as well. And here he just goes stupid mode and you want to take him out. Pretty easy stuff. A second one does the job right. Slap him in the face. We got the amulets. But first I'm going to take this guy's shield off. And pick it up. You can even throw your own shield towards them to stun one. Then pick up the other shield and then go by and do whatever you want. The amulet is very, very good for setting up ring outs. And for generally slowing down enemies. It's a very, very neat item. More and more nukes. Shield nukes. When I say it's good for setting up ring outs, it's you know when you hit it on a siren, for example, or not a siren, you know, one of these satyrs that have armor. They get stunned in the air, and so you know when you grab them, when you do the grapple thing, Kratos does the Hyperion Ram, which knocks them back, like this. Oh, that's nice. 3 air grapples on one guy. What a show-off Zesty is. Here's another siren. It's also, the amulet is also very good to interrupt enemies. Like, I don't know why I didn't do it back there, but say an enemy is trying to do something sus. You can do it and it safely cancels them from doing anything. Like if a Cyclops is trying to attack you, hit him with the amulet and he cancels his attack. Same with the Siren. Same with nearly every other enemy. Or actually every other enemy. Bosses do not stop when you do the amulet thing, but enemies do. All of them do. All of that was worthless. All of these hits you saw with the battering ram. See, that's what I meant with interruption. And another easy way to ring out a siren is not just the... I'm still talking about the Trial of Archimedes. That's because it is the hardest. It and the Shoulder of Polo are the highlights of this video. So that's why I keep on talking about them and bringing them up. Another way to ring her out in that portion is to use the amulet and then R1 instead of the uppercut. Because she has a thing sometimes where you approach her with the uppercut. You're trying to hit her, but you kind of get knocked back for some reason. Still don't know why it occurs. Here's me looping her with the uppercuts. Telling her who the boss is. That was a weird case of the amulet missing. Anyways, this is done. Electrify. Yes. Another encounter with this guy. And again, just shield plume him. Boom. Oh. You might notice me getting surprised at some stuff that I'm doing in the game, and that's because it's like everything I do is kind of far away from each other. It's not like I didn't record this gameplay and start editing it the next day and start doing this commentary the same day I edited. It's like this gameplay is nearly a month old, nearly, and I edited the whole video together and cut the whole cutscenes and stuff. Not cutscenes, but parts where there is no combat out of the video a couple of days ago, and now I started to do the commentary. That's why I see some stuff that are promising sometimes in my own video and I'm surprised. I'm like, whoa, nice one, Zesty, and all that. I still haven't finished my my club only no upgrade 1+. I really wish to play it one day again, if I have the save data again. Here's a Cyclops. I think there, see? It instantly stops him where he is into a slow-mo animation. It's very good slow-mo animation, yeah. It's very good. Shield pluming to death. You can also use these guys for iframes if you grab them. You know, the whole time you have iframes. Sorry for all the coughing and stuff, I'm just sick. Even though I already said that at the start of the video. This guy's belly has nice jiggle physics, yo. Pay close attention this time. Jiggle physics be crazy. I don't know if this encounter was supposed to be something wildly different or something crazy, but it's not. Like, these bugs are not as annoying as, you know, they can be. You can just grab them and both gain iframes and safely take out a bug. So I don't know what the goal was with this encounter. Shield, keep on shielding and nuking an Ouroboros, which is the name of the amulet. That's why I'm calling it Ouroboros. Imagine if the name is not the amulet of Ouroboros and I just forgot like an idiot, but hey. So yeah, nearly every encounter revolves down to just this, shield pluming. Which can be boring to talk about anything, but it's fine since the gameplay is at least showing some progress. And there will be some encounters every now and then that I'm gonna have to talk about something in. It's not gonna be only the combat. So like this guy right here, which is, you know, it still revolves around the combat. This guy right here, all the Talos enemies, which there's 3 elements of, have this stupid phase where they get into this. You know, you can't damage them. All these plumes that I'm doing are not damaging it, and they hit you if you get too close. You get hit basically for no reason. Their body is a whole shit box. They do weird attacks and all that, and you just best watch out. All Talos enemies do that, and they have a special attack while they're in this phase. Like the fire one does some geyser type attacks, The ice one does this attack. The lightning one does a different attack, which looks like it basically is your magic attack for the lightning of Zeus. Oh, nice. You don't see that string a lot. You don't see it. The music do be slapping sometimes, but not every time. It's definitely the weakest in the series. God of War Ascension's music. Here's a very interesting case where we ring out another Cerberus. Boom. This guy is at least a little easier than the first Cerberus to ring out. You'll see why. Just rage dump. If you're lucky enough, you get the halo instantly. If not, he's gonna be way too low to get stunned. I take out some of these satyrs on my way, because why not? Go up to the corner again, press circle, hold the left stick to the left. This. I still haven't decided what unintended case is my favorite. And you can just ring out everyone, by the way. Still haven't decided which unintended ring out case is my favorite. God of War 3 Centaur is a huge one. I like it very much. Just because, you know, it requires a very specific setup. It's not easy to pull off. But even then, Ascension has the most unintended cases. Just the redirection, man. The freedom of everything in Ascension is awesome. How that plume missed, I still have no idea about. Like, I get it, the ice element can sometimes... You know, when I talked about how the plume or the spirits of the ice element might not hit up close, that's because the attack hits behind them. And it somehow misses. But here we are. This enemy. When it approaches you, it's the best to use the amulet, but I didn't do that, of course. Of course, I'm not gonna do the optimal thing. But this thing has an animation which starts running towards you, and you can use the amulet and it just stuns her right in her spot. But I never showcase it for some reason. Boom, boom, boom. Identical to the square, square, triangle, you don't say. The enemies in God of War Ascension are really, really nice. Every enemy does have its weak point, just like every other God of War, but there's just something about them. They're much, I don't know, they're stronger than normal God of War enemies. I like them very, very much. You're better off wailing at this enemy rather than grabbing it for the halo. But hey, past SD, right? Ascension has some pretty promising enemies, although some of them, or like one of them, can be really, really annoying for some wrong reasons, and it can also be considered unfair reasons, and it's the Siren Sibyls. You know, the lightning sirens? These guys have no business doing their lightning attack off screen. None! Like, I know there is an audio cue, and there is also a visual cue. My main problem stems from the attack itself. It's like, that type of attack should not exist. Otherwise, you can see it coming. It appears as a visual cue beneath your feet first, and then there's the audio cue, so you can't really miss it. But it's just when it happens, it's wrong. I'm fine with the enemy. Like, hey, it's a hard enemy that just, I don't know, changes the pace. It's different. See? But when you throw it with the wrong enemies, when you have two of it and a Gorgon, a hooded Gorgon at that, that's when problems start happening. See, like, there is the visual cue of it happening, this attack specifically, before it hits you. So it's not as insane and as stupid as the Ghost of Sparta Kyrus raids. It's much better, to be honest, but I'm just talking about the attack, by the way, not the whole thing. Otherwise, I'll take Kyrus Wraiths over this Siren any day. It's just the combination who they threw her with. Like having to fight two of them at the same time with a hooded Gorgon. Which is gonna be the setup. If you don't know the setup, then you're gonna be fighting 2 Siren Sibyls and 2 Gorgons at the same time. But, you know, knowing spawn rules makes things easy in life. And it's great. And here's the said hooded Gorgon. This do be one of my favorite Gorgons ever. It's just the design is beautiful. The hammer thing on at the end of her tail. Her attacks. It's just so great. Her being a heavy enemy, like this is the first Gorgon that is just heavy to fight. It feels like you're fighting Riley. But you know, I'm talking enemies. That's why I said it's like the first Gorgon that feels heavy to fight. I'm talking normal bosses. Normal enemies, sorry, not bosses. Like Riley is a boss fight, obviously. A very neat change this hooded Gorgon is. And the long animation to kill it, and the animation itself when you kill the Gorgon. Feels like you're taking down a boss fight. It's good. And this, right here, you can grab her with the golden halo, and Kratos tries to go for a 360 petrification to freeze everyone around. But it's useless since the petrification is butchered in this game. You're better off not going with it. Here we are in Delos Landing. We lost the shield, but we got a sword. Enough restarts makes this guy have 2 swords stuck to him, which is very funny. Hit this first guy, grab him, go to the nearest wall to take him out. Don't mash circle like I am right here, just let him go. Grab the other sword, do the same thing. Pretty easy stuns. And that's 2 of these satyrs taken out pretty easily. This guy I tried to disarm him with the first uppercut, but he did not want to get disarmed. So, you know, comboing it is. I could have stunned him with my rage mode right here, but I think I was like, yeah, let's just fight him, however. And to showcase some of the stuff. This is a neat section where I showcase the best use of the blades and what you have when you don't have the shield in hand. And the ice element is going to be used a lot in here. Rightfully so. It does, I think it does the best damage. I'm not really sure, but it's like even prior to raging, which by the way, rage does not increase your damage output. It just adds some attributes to your stuff. This battle is gonna drag. The lack of the shield really shows how hard this game can be. You know, having the shield is still hard, but you know, not having it is of course much harder. I was aiming for this knockback with the Ice of Poseidon, because why not? This battle does drag on for a little bit, so I don't know really what to talk about. I guess I can talk about this section being a really nice section that showcases a lot of combat, and a section that is very questionable. Like, it has some weird tutorials that should be at the start of the game. You know, stuff that teach you about the world weapons and all that. Basically stuff that are out of place at some points. You can abuse this guy's sprint to take him to wherever you want. And by the way, the scenery in here while you fight is amazing. The fight looks like a 2D fight. See how that plume missed that satyr in front of me? Not the plume, the spirit. I landed this and he was point blank and it missed him. Because he was very close. So best watch out when that happens, I guess. Or to basically not plume when an enemy is close. Oh. That is the easiest way. I love the landing the plume of this thing. See how it launches the enemies behind? Just very good. See? They all get launched behind. Boom. Some very nice damage output. Although I don't know why I'm not grabbing that Satyr Captain. Like if I grabbed him the first time he got stunned, this battle would have been over way quicker than this. Just grab him. Yeah, just grab him. Just go with the flow and grab him. That's all you have to do, Zesty. Boom. This kill animation is beautiful. And it works in your favor. Like while you're taking out the enemy, the animation is long. It works in your favor for your amulet to cool down. I just love when things work together. Miss, see? It missed. I'm sorry if I jump scared you with that miss, but it missed when I was up close. Why? Because it makes no sense. If you're good enough, you can maintain your full square attacks and stuff with the rage mode, but still, it's questionable that they took it away. It's like you max out your blades and you expect to have the full bravery combo, which is the heavy combo. And no, you max out your blades and it's basically the same thing. Since, you know, you only get the whole combo with the rage. Just throw away the whole thing that you just saw me throw away. The spears and stuff. No need to wield them. These guys are also dangerous, by the way. I'm gonna aim for ring outs, I'm sure. See, this thing, it just breaks their guard. It's so great. Ring out. That's what you want to be aiming for. But still, watch out from these guys. They can be dangerous. Boom. And another ring out. Double ring out, I think, right? Yes. Beautiful. Oh my god, this... Oh! This gameplay is nice! I've been getting new footage for God of War 1, 2, and 3. Just because my old footage is kind of outdated and I play pretty poorly. Poorly compared to what I know now. Not poorly as a whole. See how much this knocks them back? Just beautiful, man. Get out! And he blocks it. See, you position yourself right, then you ring them out. So it's not the easiest thing. And he's out. Here we face Lightning Talos. Because of course. And not having the shield makes the fight longer. So you get way too used to the shield and then it gets taken away from you in a cutscene. In which I ask why. This is what I mean with this section being very good, but at the same time, it does not know what it's doing and why it's in the game at this point of the game. Like, it's teaching you about world weapons this far into the game. We're kind of like an hour and a half, nearly an hour and a half into the video right now, but obviously I skipped a lot of story dump sections and cutscenes and stuff. A lot of puzzles that I skipped. It's only the combat in my videos, but you know. A little bit too late to teach me about the world weapons. It even teaches you about rebuilding stuff with the Amulet of Ouroboros, which happens near the end of the game as well. There's just a small staircase that you have to fix for some reason. As if you couldn't make it in a jump with a jump. And you surprisingly can't. I still don't know how you can't make it with a jump. So I advise using triangle this against these guys. It's the best thing. Like in Pain Plus, since you can't do the rage attacks. You can do the rage attacks, but you can't do the new strings that get unlocked when you have the full rage built up. Just going with triangle is the best thing. Ooh, that was a nice teeny bit of positioning there, but with the ice element it's not the best. That's one Talos down. Okay, okay, not bad, not bad. Imagine if I could host a tournament for God of War. Problem is I don't know where to start and what to do and how to do and what would the point be in. You know, I want this whole challenge running business to get as you know, since speedrunning is taking off, I really wish challenge running would get the same treatment as well. I guess it's understandable and it's harder than speedrunning, but hey. This guy right here is different than the average Joe. He's not the same. This knockback deals some nice damage. He's not the same as the other Elephantors. He has more health for some reason, which again falls into this section being weird. Like, the game introduces this as the first time ever fighting an Elephantor. Like, no, we fought this guy a lot of times. This guy does have a club in his hand, which does make him different, but that's it. Boom. Nice bit of positioning back there and some pacing in your attacks. Which I'm glad is something that I explained in my positioning in God of War video. I explained how it's not just position, it's also pacing your attacks. Like which attack should hit the enemy, which attack should whiff, which, you know, on purpose. This guy needs to chill. Okay, good thing I went with the light ender instead of the heavy ender of the spirit. Because it would have whiffed. Here's where it discards its thing. And the battle from here on is pretty much the same, but it's just a normal Elephantor that you're fighting. That stomp that it just did is blockable. It's just that I'm bad with reading this guy's attacks. That's why I never go with the block. Otherwise you can block it. That whole backhand that it was trying to do is also blockable, so. I don't know what the point of this Elephantor is with it having this much health. Like, we've already fought a lot more Elephantors prior to this, and they never had this much health. Like, this guy is a tank. I know we don't have... that stomp is blockable again. And again, I got hit with it again. I know we don't have the shield, but still. This guy has no business being this tanky. And it's done. Don't even try anything funny, just grab him. And the animation is beautiful, man. Just the brain getting in your face like this. Ascension is brutal. It's beautiful. That's what I meant with the punish. When it starts running towards you, just hit her with the amulet thing. That slows her down. There's gonna be some Manticore spawns like these in the battle. Which again gets me to talk about something about Ascension. And again, I have spoken about it before, but let's just talk about it one more time. Just the lack of scaling to everything. Or, you know, the collisions being butchered completely in here. Like, at least in God of War 3 is 10 damage. In here it's only like 5 damage, I think, or maybe 3. And it's weird. The game does have a lot of stuff where you throw an enemy at another enemy. Yet the damage does not complement it. And you might notice right here I have the shield, which is something I forgot to mention. When you make it to this point, I think you make it inside some mechanical place where big wheels are spinning and stuff. You get the shield lying around on the ground and you can pick it up. That's why you see me have the shield. And basically from here on until we reach the end of the game, we're not getting rid of the shield. I mean, we wouldn't be getting rid of the shield even for the Delos Landing as well, but it's a cutscene and it's forced, so you have to kind of go without the shield at that point. There's gonna be another portion where we fight the two Furies without Megara. I'm sorry, without Alecto. It's gonna be Megara and Tisiphone. In that fight, the game does tell you have to pick up the spear to hit Megara and to bring her back down to the ground and grab her. But we have our own way to get around that. We'll see when we get to it. Here's the first introduction to this gal, which is gonna ring out. She's gonna get ringed out 2 times in this run. Again, you love to see brutes, enemies this strong get ringed out. Notice how the amount of animations in Ascension that just tell the player, hey, throw this enemy to that enemy. Like, there's a lot going on with, hey, you can throw a lot of enemies at other enemies, but when there's no collision scaling, there's no, at least promising, collision damage, why try it? You best watch out against this gal. She does not play around. She does not like to play around, so... warning to everyone, I guess. She eventually will get struck down, I guess, I don't know. She's down. With her own weapon. The thing of life. We're gonna approach another platform right now where it's gonna have a lot of these flying things, these manticore seeds, I guess they are, and just grapple them. I wonder how a no grab run plus would go around for God of War Ascension, which I should really get to it at some point, but I don't know. Since, you know, the grab in God of War Ascension is essential for a lot of enemies. I don't think it's even possible. And I'd like to imagine that there's just billions of exceptions or bonus credits for it. Just a no grab run plus, where you can't grapple enemies and all that. Imagine. Here's the first showcase of these fucking idiots together in one encounter, which is something that should never, ever happen. These guys act as stage hazards. They should never be a thing like this. Anyways, the plan is to hit them with a rage. Now they're stunned, just grab one. This happens. Then the other one next to it is stunned as well. You grab her. Kratos pops the shit out of her, and the other one's stunned. And you see the footage sped up because this takes way too long. I don't know what went wrong here. Like, this should deal way more damage. Other than that, why does it take so long? And just let's just bring it to the first point I made. These guys should never be there should never be more than one of these guys in any combat arena in God of War Ascension. Any at all. They act mostly as stage hazards if you're far away from them. Dangerous fucking stage hazards. They can do their attack off screen. See, eventually it is done, but it just takes long. I don't have a problem with things taking long, obviously, but I'm just like, why? Anyways, this is another case where we ring out this idiot. Stun her. Hyperion Ram. And these centaurs are about to get another ring out case. You'll love to see centaurs getting ringed out. I bring them back here. Then I go ahead and stand on this wood right there. Although I failed it, I think, but whatever. Notice my positioning. I'm trying to bring them over here. After getting one stationary right there, you have to be far away from them to do their attack where they rush towards you. And I stand on this wood right here. These couple of woods on the ground. And this guy's ringed out. It's very Looney Tunes style. I love it. I don't think this guy gets out. Yeah, he does not get out. because my position was bad. Again, I bring him back here. They do this rush attack when you're far away from them. Get on the wood again. And they're out. Such a nice unintended case, man. It's funny when you ring out brutes and grunts. Here's the first, here's my favorite boss fight in the game. Doing shield nukes on these guys is good since, you know, you're disarming them and you're damaging them, so why not fuck these Spartans? It's gonna be a fishy part in here where the game forces you to let go of the shield, but challenge runners are one hell of a thing and they don't give a fuck about those rules. You can parry this guy, by the way. This guy that is flying towards you, you can parry him. But since your parry is blocked behind upgrades, of course you can't do it. Am I right? This girl is dangerous, so you best watch out, because she sometimes might catch you slipping. My first no upgrade run plus in God of War Ascension, I did this, you know, the other portion of this boss fight where Tisiphone joins in. I did it without the shield, which was very, very hard. But hey, nice practice for Pain and Pain Plus, am I right? Jump this. Capitalize after using the amulet. Very good, Zesty. Watch out for her attacks. They can be dangerous. Long combos that she likes to do, see? You just gotta be patient with God of War Ascension. To bring it back to the Sirens, again, I still stand by that. You should never fight two of them at once. That enemy is I would love that enemy way more if we just never fought it in such bad circumstances. See those spears laying around on the ground? You just want to not do that and just use the rage dumps. Which you're going to see happen in a second. You also have to time your rage dumps. You don't just want to go around and rage dump every second you get. You want to do it as she's trying to do something weird. You'll see it when it happens. That's at least what I think. I don't know if you do it constantly, if it does damage or not. I just decided to take the safe route and just do it whenever she's trying to do a taunt or wherever. It's something weird that she does. For now, it's an easy 1v1. Girl is dangerous. Now is where the face starts. She gets up here and you're supposed to shoot her with the spears. But we don't want to do that since the shield is very valuable. Never let go of your shield, Spartan. Fuck them spears. After taking a wave out, she starts doing something weird. When she does the something weird, you do the rage dump. Except I did not have rage there. You should be rolling around left and right just so that you prolong your rage. Not prolong, it actually completely pauses your rage meter depleting. So the best thing to do to maintain your rage mode is to... Wow, imagine hearing that out of context. The best thing to do to maintain your rage is to roll around. That was basically the idea. Just hit her with rage dumps while she's up there and she's trying to taunt after you clear a stage. You'll see it happen again in a second. You do that sometimes until it's done. Here, get ready again for it. See, I roll around. Now I do it. Boom. And that is basically the way to damage her. Eventually, she'll move on to the platform on the right and then to the platform up ahead. Which, by the way, this place is awesome with the moonlight and the moon itself, the area. Ascension knows how to do a night setting, man. It's just so beautiful. With enough rage dumps, that's 3 so far. With enough rage dumps, you will get her to move on to the next platform. And you gotta do the same thing. Thanks to the shield glitch, you can easily do your things. Still not over, Zesty. Hit her with another rage dump, and she's moved on to the other platform. I don't know if it's 4 rage dumps or even the one counted where I hit her without her taunting. If that one counts, then it's 5 rage dumps until she moves on to another platform. After clearing this guy, again, I just do it out of nowhere just for fun, but this is where you're supposed to do it, I think. Again, I think. That is one thing that I'm not sure of in this commentary, which is sad. Like, you're coming to a commentary to learn everything and know everything about the in and outs of the game, but I guess I'm sorry for not knowing this. See, I kept on doing it just to show you guys that it does not do a lot of stuff. Like, if the left platform took 5 rage dumps to take her to another platform, that was, I just hit her 5 times back there with rage dumps and it still didn't do anything. Proving my point of she only takes the damage from the rage dump while she's taunting. Like right now. Now. Other times she does not take damage. These Spartans can be annoying, so you gotta really be careful of what they do and what they don't do. Shield blooms have you covered, but still, best watch out. Boom. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's 4 rage dumps while she's taunting that completely bring her down. This is gonna be the last time she does this thing. The last time we do the rage dump strat. We do this because we need the shield. Throughout the run, we need the shield. Without the shield, you're gonna get wrecked in that last phase. In here, surprisingly, the rage dumps stick to her, so the whole animation of the rage dump happens. It's not just Kratos' blaze bouncing off of her, which is huge. I'm trying to count how many times it takes to bring her down. So on the left platform, the first one, it took 4. On the right one, I think it also took 4. I'm gonna have to rewatch it. Here it is taking okay, so only 2 rage dumps in the upper platform, the last one. We proceed to the next phase, which I decided to show this QTE because look at this Gohan Broly moment. Broly Goku moment, look. Boom! No, you! Tisiphone is hard. She does this and you gotta dodge to her left. You do not want to dodge to her right or your left. You dodge to your right when she does that whole rush thing. Why? Because that bird hits you after the animation is done. See how it flies around and comes back behind Tisiphone? It hits you if you get caught up in that blast. So you best watch out. Do your thing. See, without the shield, this will take way longer, which is what happened in my first no upgrade run plus. As you see back there, I dodged her using my shield's first attack, which can happen, why not? In here, you can't hurt her with the shield. And I don't advise doing air attacks. Don't do air attacks. Don't be as stupid as Zesty. Just do ground attacks. Here she have the barrier, and you can't really damage her when she has the barrier. She is, however, wide open after some attacks, like right now. Attack. Attacking with the ice element is the best thing, and I hit her with the amulet there to slow her down. Make the best use of your tools. I can't talk today, I don't know what's wrong. The ice element is the best to hit her with, I think. The damage is just so fast. It's the best DPS for now. Here's where the interesting phase starts. Now, shield blooms have you covered, but also some stuff you need to be careful of. Especially later on when Tisiphone starts flying and doing the bullshit attacks again. This boss fight is awesome, but at the same time you need to acknowledge that it's also hard. Tisiphone is only attacking with her bird at the time because the range is just calling for that. If I am far enough, Megara gets close enough and she's trying to do some weird attack. if that bird of Tisiphone catches me, I'm gonna get comboed by Megara trying to catch me as well, so best watch out. Jump, circle, circle, triangle. And now Megara has the barrier. You best watch out from Megara and only face off against Tisiphone. These projectiles do take their time until they land down and actually damage you, so the threat is not instantly a threat. You can hit her sometimes, even when the telegraph or the thing is happening. You're not instantly wrecked the moment you see the telegraph or the attacks. See how I'm taking my time still hitting her sometimes? But while saying that, you still need to be careful of Megara since she's approaching with a barrier. And it's weird, she sometimes takes damage, she sometimes does not take damage, so best of luck. But you mainly want to drag her back. And this is a good spot right here. Tisiphone is low enough for my shield booms. That's why I capitalized back there and I wrecked her. So like even now, she's low enough and she does take damage. If she has some extra elevation, she wouldn't take damage from my shield. And this is where the boss is officially over, but this QTE be so good that I have to show it. It is the first time the analog QTE gets shown as well, which catches you off guard and you will fail it your first time, but hey. See? This boss fight is done. And now we got the Oath Stone of Orcos. Oh my god, I love this tool. The damage is so good. You can ring out enemies through here, by the way. But anyways, we have to use the amulet in here to get through this encounter. Otherwise, enemies infinitely spawn. Which can be a good practice room, but hey. So, the amulet. It is glitched. It's bugged, not glitched. It's bugged sometimes. But overall, this amulet is amazing with the damage that it does. It's just so great. You can even do it in the ear, but it's just that the attack in the ear can sometimes miss. Or maybe I'm just stupid and I'm talking about stupid shit right now, but I'm waiting. I think it's refilled. I don't know why I'm not doing it. Do it. Okay, now it's refilled. There. Boom. Boom. See? It just wrecks everyone. Like it just injured those satyrs, and then with the next slam it just destroyed them, not just injured them. I love the cooldowns in this game, man. They're not bad, they're very good. This is another case, and this is the last Cerberus that we face, and it's another Cerberus that we can ring out. I'm just dealing with some of these enemies first. This encounter can go two ways, either too good or too bad. It can go too good if you can ring out that girl again from the same section we ringed her out from at first with the centaurs. But it's hard to set up. What I'm gonna be trying to do right here is ring out this Cerberus, which is the third and last Cerberus we face in the game. And again, you can ring him out. With enough stun built up, I'm gonna go for the rage dump. Boom. Although it is kind of far away from the position we want him in, but it's still fine. So the area you want to take him is the same area to where we rang out the Centaur Generals. But the timing is if you press circle here, boom, and it's out. You're gonna want to rewatch the whole clip again just to know exactly where I press circle. I press it on the grass in the corner, and then aim the right analog to the left analog to the right, and this girl is ringed out the same way. And that's the Cerberus. Again, the grass on the corner of the cube in that place is where you want to press circle. I advise you watch the clip again. You watch some others do it as well, like Heristozymnas. And it shall be easy. Here's another use of the Oath Stone of Orcos, which is for puzzles, which can be pretty neat. One of the puzzles is actually very good. Now you take it away and now you put it again so that you get more time in this encounter. This encounter stage hazards can be very dangerous. The moment you get caught in them, you're wrecked. I rage dump so that I get the golden halo on top of one of these guys' heads. Just to decrease one of them in numbers. But I think one spawns in right after. Yep, see? That whole rage dump that I did back there was kinda useless since another one spawns right after. You just want to subdue one of them, and just when you get the chance, just take away the clone and put it again. So that the elevator gets elevated completely. Otherwise it can be problematic with you managing the clone and the enemies around. It is very stupid. Nuke. Keep on nuking the enemies. This clone does get you, I think, to the top of the place, but I still wasn't comfortable with it. That's why I placed him again. Again, you're free to try out to see if the clone that I set the second time gets you up to the end of the platform or not. Boom. See? You gotta love the damage of this Oath Stone of Orcros. And now all we have is just a normal encounter. This is a very hard encounter. Not very hard, but you know, it's a very interesting encounter, but also hard and challenging. A lot of stuff can go wrong a lot of different times. Which they did, trust me. You might see this perfect explanation for combat and perfect showcase for combat right now that the video is done, but you know, a lot of attempts had to happen before I got the perfect attempt. So if you fail, I believe in you, and I believe you can finish it eventually if you just want to be a perfectionist. You can obviously complain about stuff being bullshit in combat scenarios, but at the end of the day, they are combat scenarios and you are there to best them. Complaining gets you nowhere. So, I just believe in you in finishing this challenge. This is an encounter where I think I'm gonna try out some of the club, since there's a shield that is gonna be lying around in a second. This shield, boom, with the clothesline. But I don't know. I think I'm just gonna not even bother with the club. But something in my memory is telling me that I will, since I edited this commentary like a week ago. Yeah, there. I discarded the shield, picked up the club. Just to show some more love for the club. It is my favorite world weapon after all. But even with it being my favorite world weapon, I still didn't put it at the #1 spot in my top 5 world weapons. Because if I'm being truly honest, the shield is just supreme. Look at this guy getting wrecked. Look. You love it, man. Boom. I threw it too early. I wish I cleared them all before picking up another shield, but still. That guy that just rushed towards me is very low, so there's that. You're much better off wailing at the enemy when they're down to their golden halo. I'm talking these enemies, by the way. Grabbing them does not do damage to them, does not do a lot of damage to them and to the surroundings, so there's no point in that. In here you can ring out these flying bitches. Boom. Ascension is just so great for allowing you to redirect to wherever you want, man. It's just the stuff of legend. Also, the Oathbreaker stone is very neat. It's like something that I never noticed would do a lot of damage, yet it does. You know what I mean? Which again, challenge running just teaches you a lot of stuff. Like you learn about your DPS tools, you learn about your positioning, you learn about a lot of stuff. Like a lot of stuff that you already used to do in your vanilla runs or in your runs prior to challenge running. You start doing them and then some when you start doing challenge runs. You learn extra stuff. You can also ring out these guys through here, as I perfectly demonstrate. And here's me canceling this with the items. The timing is very weird, but you can do it. You know, after trying, you're pressing L2 at the right time does cancel it, see? I was trying it for a little bit back there. Be careful with the use of R1 in here. Do not accidentally pick up a sword or something. Or even if you do, just restart the checkpoint. I'm just saying, it's bad. It's not, of course, a good thing to do. It's bad to go without the sword. The furnace is a nice level. Especially later on with this elevator getting up. The encounter gets much better. This encounter right here, where I was standing near that gate, is a boundary exploit. So they do not attack you when you're here. There's also another boundary exploit in here, and it's the part where I was ringing out the flying harpies and stuff. There's also another one, and it's at the entrance when you first enter the furnace. This is also another boundary exploit where I'm standing right now. I think I let go of boundary exploits and I just go out after like a couple of attempts at damaging these guys. Oh man, there's the slingshot. It's just so useless. It's laying on the ground, as you can see it. So useless. Oh my god. Like, it just is the worst thing in the world. There's no use for it. Best watch out against them Gorgons. This encounter is dragging out to be way longer than it should be, but that's all because of me trying to showcase some stuff that you can do here. Finally, my mind started working with that rage dump. You should always do it when you have it. You know, it's right that, you know, nuking is a good thing, and by the way, this is nuking, even though I have already explained it. See, I even tried to grab this Gorgon, but the Oathbreaker Stone is such a Chad. It's just that fucking cool. It's just the cool guy you want to hang around with every once in a while. The cool guy that has stories everywhere you go. That's the Oathbreaker Stone. Or Oathstone of Orcos. I think that's what it's called. I keep on mispronouncing it for some reason. See, such a Chad, just destroying everyone with the Atlas Quake moveset. Boom. These guys are fucking dangerous and annoying. They even appear later on in the shoulder of Apollo, which is one hell of an encounter, thank you. Ring out. Imagine if he bounced back into the arena. I would have cried. Although it would have been really funny to see. Out. I love the fact that Kratos hits the enemy if they're in the air. It's like he does not attack in one direction. He actually hits the enemy. Here's another ring out spot. Ascension with the awesome ring outs. Because Ascension is one of the best action games of all time. Duh. This encounter right here, you don't want to be shield nuking all the time. What you want to be doing is throwing enemies with the circle. Obviously, I'm nuking right now since opportunities are calling for it, but the main thing is R1 and then circle. They keep on bouncing left and right, and they're sent flying to the stage hazard, which is very useful. See? And you know, I summoned the clone just to help a little bit with the damage output. Since the guy is such a fucking Chad. He loves helping out and lending a hand. He is such a bro. Again, grab and throw with circle every chance you get. This encounter is destruction. Here's some shield plumes. It's just that they're not the most reliable in here. And now on to the one of the hardest encounters in the challenge. So you see me plume this shield to build up rage. That's something I mentioned near the start of the video. Now what you want to do is go batshit crazy right out the gate and stay in one of these corners, either this upper right corner that I'm abusing right now or the upper left corner that you can abuse. When the Juggernaut starts spawning, the camera zooms out very bad, and it's a very bad use of the camera. Why? Because a lot of enemies are going to be on the screen, and the more enemies on the screen, the more carnage, since enemies are highly active when they're on screen and mildly inactive when they're off screen. So this is a bad use of the camera for God of War Ascension. I use this the clone, all my nuking, all my every love and affection on the first Elephantor, and grab him. While this grab is happening, my my items are getting cool. They're getting all the cooldown they want, and I'm safely taking out this Elephantor. Now you need to be extra careful. So move around and destroy everything you see, but also you need to have your focus on the Elephantor. I'm sad that I'm not showcasing a lot of ring outs in here, but yes, you can actually ring out as well. This was a very nice use of the clone. I hope this guy doesn't die. Okay, he didn't die. Another Elephantor that I just grabbed right now is gonna get taken out safely, and I have all my cooldowns ready by the time it's over. Again, this long animation works in my favor. It's sad that I'm not showing a bunch of positioning in here where I can ring out some of these guys when safe to do so. Although grabbing in here can be dangerous. See how that guy just got rang out thanks to the Elephantor? Grabbing in here can be dangerous since Kratos loves to grab enemies that have the shield. And you don't want to see that animation since Kratos just takes way too long. You can ring out enemies right up here. Do it? Yes. Okay, I didn't do it, but it is what it is. You can ring out enemies in the lower part of the arena. Even here where I'm standing right now. I for some reason did not showcase it, but you can do it. And the circle that I'm doing is not about damage. It's just about control. You're kind of controlling the crowd for your own good. Good opening for the amulet, for the clone, to deal a lot of damage. And the Elephantor is down. Grab him. Now, I wish I showed some pain strats in here where you run around a lot and you find openings to grab the small enemies and ring them out. As I said, you can ring the enemies out on the top of the arena and in the lower part of the arena. There are some invisible walls in here, in the upper part and in the lower part, but overall you can ring them out pretty good. Any ring outs? Okay, Zesty, please ring out. It's fine to use the magic here. There's a magic chest that you can refill with. Like if things get too hectic, use your magic. Just be careful with your grabs. Kratos likes to auto-lock towards the guys with the shields. And you do not want to grab a guy with a shield in the open. You are wrecked. The thing I like about this encounter is that if you fail, you know you will fail early on. When in contrast with the Trial of Archimedes Wave 3, of course I throw my shield here because there's like billions of shields laying around. In contrast, the Trial of Archimedes, you take way too long to get to the good part, to the hard part, and then it can take like 2 seconds to die in the hard part. It's that fucked up. Surprised I'm not showing a lot of ring outs, but I hope I made my points clear about where and when you can ring out enemies. Planning to stream a pain run of God of War Ascension after my General Kratos Pain Plus run is done. And after the Ascension Pain, I'll hopefully tackle Blade of Artemis Pain. And this encounter is basically done. It's one of the hardest encounters. It is actually the second hardest in my opinion. And if you want to know my thoughts and opinions. Nice iframes with the grab back there. Otherwise I would have been hit with the projectile on the ground. Wouldn't have dealt a lot of damage, but still. Ring out? Ring out. Good. Although it's much more favorable to do the triangle one since Kratos does not auto-lock to somewhere else, but it's still good. Again, abuse the corner because the camera is close by in there. And enemies, when they're off screen, they usually do not attack. Not usually, they actually don't attack. Other than sometimes where they break the rule. And it's for some enemies. It's consistent. You know, for example, like the sirens. It's not a random thing. It's consistent that they attack off screen. Ring out, baby. I instantly restart after throwing this shield. Do not throw your shield after the encounter is done. Here's another really creative and cool encounter. You have to use the fire in the middle. Okay, you have to use the enemies like this, the way I'm doing, or you can throw that dog. These guys, the main thing is just launch them and do the Hyperion Ram. But that's the first phase of this whole encounter. The second phase is harder. Second phase, we have a Talos and stage hazards around. And these stages can fall. This encounter is one of my favorite in the franchise. He's in his super state right now, and he kind of starts walking and creeping towards you. This is the Fire Talos. He does the geyser attacks that you just saw me block. Easily blockable. Problems come in when other enemies spawn. That's when this whole encounter can get a little harder. A little harder, daddy. Just try your best to get your plumes in. And also be aware of something, and it's trying to go for the plume attack after, for the shield attacks after blocking. Do not discard your weapon. And if you do, you can always restart from the last checkpoint and you have your shield back, but still, be careful. Here's SD, grab the dog. Good. See, the stage gets so destructive with the stage hazards and the stage falling. So you best be careful. You can even launch these guys naturally to the fire if they're close by. But since I'm far, I like to launch them and then Hyperion Ram them or combat grapple them like this. Boom. If one is close enough, a simple launcher does the job. Get away of the platform. From the platform, not off the platform. Throw. The encounter is... I think the encounter is done. You don't need to sacrifice any more of these satyrs. Now we're just left with a Talos to fight. A Talos and this idiot right down there. Basic fodder. Although the basic fodder in this game are hard, they do not play around. They just do not play around. And that was a bad use of the Oathbreaker's Oath Stone. Clone, whatever. That was a bad use of it, since the Talos instantly entered his armored phase, his emo phase. I should have used it after he was done with his emo phase. That's what I'm gonna call it from now on, his emo phase. Since he's so unhinged, both in the literal sense and in the, like this is a good use of the amulet. See, he's destroyed. You'll love to see it. This right here is a nice gauntlet. Very, very, very identical to the God of War 3 Labyrinth encounter. We're gonna have some Siren Sibyls in a second as well, which, come to think of it right now, when I said these enemies, you should never fight more than one of these enemies at a time, the Siren Sibyls, I still stand by that, but it's just, if we're ever getting to fight two of them at the same time, it should be only the two of them. You should never throw another enemy in there. If we ever get a God of War Ascension 2, that should be the plan. With the wraiths, you know what to do. This encounter, I say it's identical to the God of War 3 Labyrinth Gauntlet in the sixth box in the Labyrinth. The setting looks the same, and just the pure fact that enemies keep on spawning and spawning and spawning. I love it so much. It's a nice encounter. Although it has siren symbols, it's a nice encounter. Kill this guy, I think, as fast as possible. That's pretty much the best thing you can do. And the Chad, the Oathbreaker Chad is just doing his job right. The Oath Stone, it just knows what it does. Orcos is such a Chad that is helping out in here. Although this is wildly different than how the design of the Labyrinth Gauntlet goes in God of War 3. Like, that's a very intricately designed encounter where you can control the spawns all you want. I hope I don't use the amulet in here against this guy, since saving it for the sirens is the best thing to get the fast stun thing built up. Don't use anything. Don't use items. Okay, thank you. Now we get the finale with the sirens. Stun. There's gonna be another wraith that joins in right now. And basically from here on it's just gonna be a sped up footage. Although you gotta be careful to not grab the wraith. The wraith keeps on getting stunned as well. I just wish this thing did more damage. I read an evaluation by Big V once. Haristos was doing the Trial of Archimedes Pain Plus, which so few people have done that. It's a bonus credit in Pain Plus and Pain runs, but I still plan to do it one day. Even with the sped up footage, this is still taking long. Like, how poor damage is this thing doing? See, here's why I slowed it down, because I failed. I didn't want to grab the wraith by accident. That's another siren down anyways. The kill is so satisfying. A rage dump? Nope. It's just the moment they catch you slipping, you're destroyed. Did you see my health go down like that? It's another siren dead. Get rid of the clones of the wraiths. Grab. It does the tether thing, or the burrow. Grab again. And again. Very good encounter. Like right here, it was a double siren, but I don't know, it's just, I think my main problem with the Trial of Archimedes double sirens and Gorgons is just that. It's just them throwing the sirens with one of the hardest enemies in the game, and it's the hooded Gorgon. Like, you should not do that, basically. It's very flawed. Imagine if one does not know how to control the spawns in there. You're fighting 2 sirens and 2 Gorgons. And you saw the whole Oath Stone back there bug, right? I have a problem with it. It's very bugged when you make it to this chamber right here. Like, even later on with the Trial of Archimedes, you're gonna be seeing the clone just gliding around the arena for no reason at all. Very weird, but hey. This is the second and last Manticore battle. The amulet isn't so bugged as to say, oh man, this thing sucks, you should never use it. It's just that when the bug happens, you hate it. Like, sometimes you want to activate it, like actually use it to, you know, summon it to actually attack with you. And what Kratos does is the pull back animation, where he just calls back the clone. And I'm like, why? This Manticore is done. Although I failed the QTE, but it's low enough, whatever. And there are some instances where you just got done using the Oath Stone, right? See, like right there, it does not attack for some reason. I think because the battle was over, but anyways. Sometimes you're like, I want to spawn him. You hold L2 and press triangle, and instead of just spawning him where he just starts attacking and going batshit crazy with the Atlas Quake moveset, Kratos just does the animation of calling back the clone. Which is totally something that you don't want, because you don't have iframes when doing it. But anyways, here we are. This thing has been built up throughout the entirety of this commentary. Let's see how it goes. So first of all, you start right at the left so that one Gorgon spawns there. You instantly move on to the right so that the other Gorgon spawns there with you alone. You want to try out this isolation strat where I'm fighting the Gorgon alone. This is the way to go. Triangle, square, square, triangle in the air. Triangle, jump, square, square, triangle. That is pretty much a safe way to take out the Gorgon one-on-one. Of course, you have the shield nuking, but you know, you'll see what happens now. I let her freeze me so that I can bait her in closer, but for some reason stopped there. So what you want to do here is take out one of the Gorgons. You don't want to take both of them out. The moment you take both of them out, it might be the sensible thing to think of right now. Like, hey, I can take both of them out so that the next spawn pool spawns cleanly. And to that I say, no sir, you do not want to try that. It's a bad practice. You want to get one of them low enough. You take her out alone. Then you deal with the two others that are on the screen. And you take them out at the same time. And you might notice a stage hazard in this stage. Now, the stage hazard is the most useless thing in the world. I have trapped sirens in there and it's pretty much useless. Like, I don't know if it even damages the enemies. I swear to God, I don't know if it even damages the enemies, which is so weird. Like, that stage hazard should be acting like the God of War 2 siren sacrifice thing. It's weird. So here you saw me grapple onto this Gorgon. This is good. You take out one of the Gorgons in here. The battle starts with two Gorgons. As I said, you stand in one place so that one of the Gorgons spawns near you. You quickly move on to another corner so that the other Gorgon spawns near you. And it's a 1v1. Now there's going to be another Gorgon that spawns in. You take out both of them at the same time. Or not both of them at the same time per se by attacking or anything. The main goal you have here is injuring both of them at the same time. Getting both of them to the red halo at the same time. And this is the safe strat for Pain Plus. Triangle, jump, square, square, triangle, block. Triangle, jump, square, square, triangle, block. Triangle, jump, square, square, triangle. I go with this against the Gorgon because it's safe. Because you don't want to accidentally kill the other Gorgon while this one is fully healthy. You want to get both of them to the red halo before proceeding and killing one of them. You really want to be careful with that. And when the sirens spawn, I do try to do some ring out stuff, but not fully. See, like right here, I capitalize on the moment and I use the shield blooms and nuke this Gorgon. Every God of War has its hard encounter near the end, but this one is just absurd. Here we have both of them at the red halo, which is perfect. The moment you kill one of these Gorgons, the sirens start to spawn. What I'm trying to do is, I'm bringing that siren to that spot so that I can grab her there. Why? So that when I'm done, the sirens start spawning in here. The sirens spawn where you are standing, so that is one thing that you need to know to some extent if you want anything to go easy. And that's because I'm trying to set up some stuff to make things easier on myself, and is that I'm trying to use the magic of the Blades of Ares, the Fire of Ares, so that I get the knockback. Watch, pay close attention. They spawn, but they spawn in a very unfavorable position. That's why I say fuck it and I grab the Gorgon. I could have restarted and gotten a better attempt at this whole thing, but I decided to show this. The optimal thing is, like, you get a nice spawn. You kill a Gorgon in the corner. The two sirens spawn in the corner. You do the magic attack and you ring one. You have the potential to ring both of them out. But still, this is still good. So now it's a 1 Gorgon and 2 siren encounter, which is much better than a 2 Gorgon and a 2 siren encounter. Watch your feet in here. Just watch your feet. Here I try to uppercut, and the siren does not get ringed out for some reason. And that's my whole dreams getting shattered. But it is what it is. I think I build up something right now so that I use the rage. That is one petrify right there, which is good. See? I tried to do the oath stone, and Kratos just recalled it instead of summoning it. Here I summoned it completely and it's good right now. The Oath Stone can also work for knockbacks on the Sirens if they're near the edge of this ledge. But hey, bad RNG is bad RNG. Now is your moment. Do this. When they're stunned, grab them. And Zesty can speed up the footage right now. This is basically what you should do for the next 2 to 3 minutes. Just constant grabbing of the Sirens. After these are done, there's gonna be other Sirens that are gonna spawn. But you're just minding your own business with this. This takes long. This is tedious, but it's not tedious, but it takes long. But at the same time, it is the best way to take them out and the safest way. I have my own clips online. Like I did my no upgrade 1 plus for Ascension a while back. And I did it flawlessly by ringing them all out. Right now I showed this where one of these guys die, but business as usual. Grab this, boom. The other one is stunned. Just try to build up your rage again. It's very easy. Oh, I think I go for the ring out. Yes, it is the ring out. Boom. Or actually not. It's just injured. I got happy back there thinking it was the ring out showcase, but no. It's just the Gorgon right now, which is, hey. Take her out easily. I don't think I even grab her. I think I damage kill her. Yep. And now in here, we move on to this encounter, which I think the checkpoint is connected to the encounter prior. Like, I think if you actually die here, you're back to the first wave you saw me do with the Gorgons and the Sirens. Which is questionable. Like, that is one of the worst checkpoints you can ever think of. Now here you can ring out these Sirens. Not these Sirens, sorry. These harpies. Harpy looking motherfuckers. You can ring them out in the lower part of this arena. I wish you could grab these guys off of the air. Like, there's nothing you can do, which is sad. I wish you could grab them, like, you know, snatch their asses back down. I did mention that you can ring out the enemies, but I don't know. I'm just being way too careful in here. I did not want to die by this point. I'm not sure about the checkpoint, if it takes you back to the start of the Trial of Archimedes again. But I'm not taking any chances. I'm just going by this whole thing safely. Just a whole bunch of nuking while keeping them off screen to be safe. Because you do not want to die in that encounter. Now this encounter has these stage hazards that keep on approaching you. But if you're good enough, see, dodge this. Now start wailing. Although I should be at the lower part of the arena to ring out these guys to showcase the ring out, but I forgot. I thought the Talos would spawn here, I think. That's why I came to this area. Otherwise, ringing out these guys is the fastest thing. Now is where the Talos is gonna spawn. After the second one is over, you want to make it to that position over there. Just change your position. Here's the ring out. Boom. Now the Talos is gonna spawn. Okay, how many harpies are there? Get out. After this one, you want to move on and fight the Talos. Obviously, because you would die here. Damn, Zesty going all out. Zesty's being zesty right now. And now you have the arena all for yourself, basically. You know, the stage hazard keeps on looping back to the start. When it reaches the end, it starts over. It's never over. Make sure to note that. Get behind the stage hazard and behind the towels. I didn't, but what's stopping you from getting behind him? Am I right? It's done. 1, 2, 3. And it's over. Now this guy he's just gonna get nuked. Pretty easy stuff. He's still intimidating. And that's an amulet wasted completely. Not completely, that last hit did hit him, but still. Actually, does he get damaged while he's grabbing me? I don't know. Like his whole grab animation was happening while my Oath Stone was going out, so I don't know if it was really damaging him or not. He got way too low on HP pretty quick. And now some wraiths. You know the deal with the wraiths. Just launch them and keep on doing the loop. Just like that. Although you want to block after you snatch one of these guys down, because another one might be trying to attack you. And now the clone is being a Chad as usual. He's him, man. I swear to God. That guy's him. Boom with a kick. Another grab to the ground. Boom with another kick, and it's down. Now there's another wraith, and there's another wraith that just spawned. This encounter can be iffy. I'm pretty sure I don't get hit again. Boom with another kick. I love this animation of him snatching the wraiths down. It's the same of the captain, Legionnaire captain from God of War 2. The Oath Stone is just doing the job. It do be him though. Come here. Die with your own Batman symbol. This is the last encounter in the game before facing off against Electo and Tisiphone. We're gonna be repairing some stairs. These stairs on the right. I still don't know how we can't jump through this gap. Like, you barely missed the ledge. You should be grappling onto the ledge. I understand the game not allowing us to ring out these fellas. But still, invisible walls, they suck. They suck huge ass. I mean, it would trivialize this. Oh man, the clone is so good. It would trivialize the whole encounter, but still. I mean, I worked hard for that. Come on. Maybe not so hard, but still. Joke's on you. I teach them to not offer mercy. A lot of nuking has to happen in here, and it's basically the same moveset that Tisiphone has. It's gonna be the same movement even later on when we fight the big kaiju Electo. I don't know what kaiju is, but I've seen a lot of people call big monsters kaiju. I got slapped back there, whatever. I want to preface this again. Dodge to your right or her left after she does that rush. Because this whole bird thingy attached to her, it spins around and it can catch you slipping. This girl has a lot of HP. That's a lot of HP for the same boss fight that I fought. Okay. Now some tentacle hentai is gonna introduce itself. You have a new item that you go with, and it's L2 and circle. Like that.
You will pay for taking Bagheera's life!
You care about Bagheera that much? Anyways, go with more nuking. Circle, circle, triangle. Circle, circle, triangle. And of course, it's nuking. You know how it is. You want to be careful of that and dodge it and get hit with it and escape it. Because the hitbox is fucking bullshit. This entire fight. I love this boss fight, but sometimes some hitboxes are just way too unfair. And I hate when hitboxes are just fucky. Like you don't know when to dodge them or whatever. The next phase is again battling the tentacle. But there's just more stage hazards this time. It is the same things trying to attack you, but... And by the way, that wall breaks from no matter the range. Like if you use the new item that you gained, the Eye of the Truth, I think that's what it's called. Doesn't matter if you use it back here, look. Boom. It still opens up the wall. It still opens up the gateway. Hit her with some nukes. Eventually you're gonna have to dodge all that. You do need to watch out of these tentacles and where they're gonna land. You don't just dodge them and iframe them, so be careful. Open up. More nuking. Dodge. See, that's what I meant by don't iframe it. The hitbox is very fucky. And it's over. On to the big phase. You jump this attack. Circle, circle, boom. Nice punish. It backs off. Look at the tentacles. Dodge them. You want to sometimes look at the tentacles. They might do a different type of attack, so best to watch out. Circle, circle, triangle to strafe around this attack. The Symphony is going to eventually join in. There's one more attack that you need to learn about, and it's that one. You just need to look at the tentacle, the tip of the tentacle itself. Just to kind of see where it's aiming and where it's going to go. This boss can be hard. This phase especially. If you don't know how to manage it, it can be hard. Run towards the outside. See, sometimes these things can be aiming towards a whole different location. They can completely miss you. Here's the Symphony again. She does have the move where she drops some projectiles on you while she's high up in the air. That's what I thought would happen back there, but it didn't happen. I summoned the Oath Stone. As you can see, some nice positioning, especially when I dodge those goo things. Jump this. Again, you need to be careful. This is like the Sisters of Fate, but Atropos is more aggressive. With Atropos obviously being Electo, which is the big Kraken Hydra thing. Use some magic, because why not? It's the end game. I think it's over. Right now it's a one-on-one. The setting, man. The destruction. Circle, circle. One last triangle to destroy it. The one last triangle to end all triangles. There it is. And that is God of War Ascension. No upgrade run plus. Commentary. Be sure to like and subscribe as this helps my channel grow, and if you enjoyed the commentary, I have made commentaries for other God of War challenge runs and other God of Wars as well. I stream and upload 90% of God of War content and stream some other games every now and then and make content for them as well. I hope you guys enjoyed today's commentary. Peace.